Actually, question for the girls. Do you think that most of these kids coming from divorced households are better off with their dads getting primary custody instead of their mom?
Good question.
Ooh, let me answer this one
I'll
first.
save you for last. Okay. What do you think about that?
Okay, personally, I come from a divorced household.
Okay.
If I would have grown up, I grew up with my mom, and I turned out the way I did. If I would have grown up with my dad, it would have been completely different. I would have been extremely sheltered. I would not have the personality I have, would not have the friends or the experiences that I've had. I would not have known the same nurturing and same care that I had with my mom.
Mm.
And as a girl, I think it was better for me to be with my mom.
Okay.
But if for a boy, maybe it'd be better to be with their dad. I don't know.
Okay. Shout out to you.
You don't think you would be more respectable?
Do me a favor, because we're about
by
to.
your dad.
Well, yeah, do me a favor, Anwar. Do me a favor, bro. If you can, while we're going around the table, can you pull up the stats, bro?
Do you think you would turn out more respectable if you were raised by your dad?
If I was raised by my dad, I probably would have been more rebellious, more sneaky. I probably would have sneaked out of the house. Probably would have been more of a liar. With my mom, I never sneaked out of the house. I never really lied to my mom. There was a lot of trust there. With my dad, I probably would have gotten tattoos a lot earlier, gone and found my own. I probably would have done drugs, honestly. Like, it probably wouldn't have turned out well.
Why?
Because
Your dad?
strict parents make sneaky kids. Yeah, and my dad would have been a strict parent.
Okay.
So-
Go ahead, Keisha. Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, I was raised by my mom. She taught me a lot of things, but I think with a father, I probably would have been a little bit more disciplined because dads should always bring that in the house. If I was a boy, or if I had a brother that lived with my dad, they'll definitely be more strict on him. He'll have more character. He'll probably be like an alpha male, more respectful, more disciplined. Whereas the mother, she's always the nurturing one. So I get the nurture from my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit more soft because of that. But
Okay.
if I was with my dad, I probably would have been like tougher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. What about you, Savannah? What do you think about that?
It's kind of tough coming from my perspective. Honestly, didn't have the greatest parents growing up. As much as I, disagree with my mom and I honestly don't talk to her to this day, but I feel like raised by my mom was better than being with my dad, as much as I was always trying to have that relationship with my dad growing up. All in all, I feel like mothers, even though having a father figure kind of gives you like, okay, this is what a man is doing for me, especially as a woman, or even as like a son. It's like, okay, my dad is helping me do this. Like, he's teaching me how to be a man and how to move in this world, because everyone kind of needs some guidance.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So we saved the best for last. Go ahead. Give us your thoughts on that, Miss Elderberry.
Okay, so from my perspective, my dad, my parents are divorced. They got separated when I was 3, divorced by 4. If my dad would have had primary custody of me, I'd probably be in a much different place. My dad had no rules, no routine. My mom was the strict one. My mom was hardcore. Yeah. So usually when you ask us these questions and you say that the father's the protective and the disciplinarian, like that was my mother. My dad, there was no discipline. I got away with murder with him. My mom, I was very sheltered. I grew up in a bubble. I was Miss Goody Two Shoes, and I am who I am today because of my mom. I don't think I'd be in the same shoes if my dad had raised me, but that's my father, and right. I don't think he's the ideal man.
Right. Okay, cool.
So that's my perspective.
And that last part that you said there is very important.
Correct. I wish I had a good father figure. Right. I wish I had a strong man in my life. I mean, I have my grandfather. Yeah. And that's the only strong male figure I have. But unfortunately, I didn't have happy parents in a relationship. Okay. I didn't have a good father.
Gotcha. And again, thank you for your honesty. I think definitely when we ask this type of question, it's always a little bit hard to gauge because you guys are giving us your personal experiences. But generally, right, which is what I said before the show, we speak in generalities here. Most men are disciplined. Most men they're gonna instill those morals that both daughter and sons need. Like for instance, like I think that obviously fathers have a little bit of a harder time with their daughters because you know you have that daddy's little girl thing going on. But I think also like it's a father's job to basically like protect that little girl until she's able to get married. And this is why, like I said, that the father goes down the aisle and literally gives his daughter away to the husband, right? At least that's what a good father should do, right?
Yeah, but a lot of men like walk out on their families, walk out on their children.
Yeah,
So yes, like that's not a good positive trait
I
in a
get it.
man. But like if I mean, I have him pull up the stats.
Yeah, and
How many, like,
we're gonna show them in a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of fatherless households, and you know it's very easy to blame the woman. And
don't you
but
think
these
that's by
men
design
also-
though? Think about the whole system, right? Women are literally incentivized to get child support, to get to get help from the state, right? Like yes. There was this one TV show I watched, and it basically there was a lady that was like, if we paid fathers to be fathers, like there would be a lot more guys. Not that you should have to pay a father to want to be a father, but the way that they're incentivizing women to go ahead and leave, you'll get support from the state, you'll get child support, right? Like a lot of women do it because of that. Let's be honest. And not only that, but like, look, we give women a lot of like leeway when it comes to like, oh, well, she's young, she wasn't ready to be a mother. But a lot of times these young dudes aren't ready to be fathers either, right? But men don't get that benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh, you're just a deadbeat because you left. But women can drop off a kid at a shelter. You can give your kid to your mom. And we see this a lot. A lot of moms that give their kids to their mom, and they to their grandmother, and the grandmother ends up raising the baby. But we don't give them any shit for that, right? Men get the short end of the stick almost all the time. Do me a favor, Amar. Let's get to some of these chats, bro.
You don't want to see the stats?
Yeah. Let's see the stats. My bad. I totally forgot about that shit. Go ahead. Shout out to the chat, man. If you guys have any chats, go ahead and super chat them now, and we'll get to you guys in a second.
So we got a bunch of stats. I'll
Go
read
ahead.
the first one. The fatherless home generation. 63% of youth self-deletes are from fatherless homes, 5 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes, 32 times the average. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes, 14 times the average. Daughters of single parents without a father involved are 53% more likely to marry as teenagers, 711% more likely to have children as teenagers. It's 164% more likely to have premarital birth, and 92% more likely to get divorced themselves. Adolescent girls raised in a two-parent home with involved fathers are significantly less likely to be sexually active than girls raised without an involved father. And I got single father home and single mother statistics, but y'all get the gist.
You get the point.
Yeah,
I think what it is with the father in the home, it's more discipline. The women, they give you more leeway, like you were saying with your mother. And yeah, that could change you. Like if you have a strict dad, it might make you more rebellious. You'd be like, nah, fuck him. Now I want to, try to do this. I want to get around him in this way, right?
Yeah.
But don't you think that's a bad thing? And
it is a bad thing.
Also, like, I think you would respect your father enough not to do that if he was a man to respect.
I was explaining it more generally, like with anyone. Me personally, yeah, I would. I was scared of my dad, so I would not. I would respect what he was saying, and I would have been a sheltered, in a bubble child without the experiences that I have now. And honestly, I would have hated that because living with my mom, I got to learn and see and experience so many different things that a lot of my friends didn't get to experience because they had 2 parents and there was more rules in their house. And even though my mom was a lot more lenient, yeah, I was still a good kid and I still listen to her.
A good kid in what ways?
In her,
like, are you a respectable woman?
Yeah.
Like other people would see you as a respectable woman?
I've had moving here has taught me a lot, and I've heard people tell me like your mom did a good job with you, and I've gotten compliments for the first time in my life of how my mom raised me.
Speaking to the mic, go ahead.
And when I was younger, people would come at my mom for how she was raising me and be like, you like whatever she wants, she's not going to turn out well, whatever. And now I'm hearing people tell me that she did a good job with me and that I'm a good kid. So it's like